Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
Welcome to the OneRing.net Torn Tuesday. He's Cliff. I'm Justin, and we're here giving you the latest news about everything that has to do with The Hobbit. It is almost premiere week.
I feel like a very bad fifth-grade child who just came into the classroom chewing his gum without spitting it out before class. I'm so sorry about that.
It's cinnamon, too.
I love cinnamon gum, don't you guys?
Smell of cinnamon.
Do you know what? Hey, look at what. Guess what? I'll switch to peppermint next time. You'll survive.
Please do.
Oh my gosh. Have you had the pumpkin pie milkshake at Denny's?
No.
Okay, Bard, the Bowman, it's like Bard's pumpkin pie shake.
I don't like pumpkin.
I thought it was going to be good. The Hobbit Hole breakfast was actually very good. The Hobbit Hole breakfast with the cheesy bread that they use in the Smaug's burger, it turned out to be really delicious. I had a nice breakfast. But then I made the mistake. Sorry, Denny's. I made the mistake of ordering that pumpkin pie shake. And I don't think that the little cold, chewy, crusty bits of pie crust in the bottom of the milkshake really helped at all. But anyways, onward and forward, Denny's.
We are streaming live as we do every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific here on TheOneRing.net on Ustream.
Yes.
And if you're watching after the show, we post this on YouTube, our YouTube account. And
indeed we do.
So we have a chat room full of people that are here to chat. We appreciate you guys chiming in. And as always, you can text us at 530-64-FRODO. 530-64-FRODO.
Frodo. Absolutely. It's
and
wonderful to be here this week. You can also
Skype us.
Skype us, please do.
Skype us, and we'll talk to you.
This is the ultimate in live interactivity. This is the cutting edge of cutting edge.
And sometimes if we're on a roll,
bleeding edge.
We won't answer the phone until near the end of the show, the last half hour of the show, because sometimes we just get on a roll.
Yes, we do. We sometimes start to soliloquize, as some of us tend to do.
Soliloquize?
Yes, we do. Speaking of, Mr., I should say Sir, not Mr., but Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen on Charlie Rose tonight. I am so excited. I'm about to fall out of my chair.
Wait, I
just called my best friend who lives downstairs from me, and I said, please record the PBS show Charlie Rose, because they're across that table with him. The best interview that you will find on American television tonight. Probably the best interview of American TV for the whole damn year of 2013. You've got to see those legends of the stage and screen, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen together, talking about their Waiting for Godot and the other play that they're doing, the double feature. The name of which escapes me for the moment, but I'm sure somebody will tell me.
You know that.
Hello, Mexico. Hello, everyone around the world.
Yeah, who's here?
We have fans coming to us from England. Emily, hello, Stargate Geek. We've got a lot of folks in the UK. Another time zone right below us, Mexico. Welcome, mi compadre, está bien. Welcome aboard. Buenos días, buenas noches, y buena suerte.
So the question is, are you going to cover the red carpet? Absolutely. We're going to be on the red carpet. Now, Warner Brothers has told us no live streaming because they don't want to compete with their own live stream.
Let me show you the tweet they sent out today.
But seriously, you know how we do.
Oh, yeah, I do. I know how we do. I know how we do a little guerrilla warfare from time to time. Yes,
officially,
I do.
We will not be live streaming on the red carpet because we're good little hobbitses. But, in the chaos of Mordor.
In the chaos of what? Isengard versus... There's two towers involved in this conversation. Are you guys going to cover the red carpet arrivals? Are you kidding?
Yes.
Guess who's going to be there?
Happy Hobbits.
The lovely Kelly and Alex, who are known as Feely and Keely on the weekly, sometimes bi-weekly podcast, Happy Hobbit.
Happy Hobbits.
Yes.
And so they are coming.
Folks will be there.
They're flying themselves down to L.A., and they're going to be on the red carpet, and rumor has it...
Really fun stuff.
That...
I'm coaching them so that they do great interviews.
This is their first time,
I know, it's exciting.
Hosting these.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, it's funny seeing them nervous, a little bit. And
yes, that's true.
They're like, well, should we dress up in dresses or should we go as dwarves and cosplay like we were at Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I said go as cosplay. Be the only reporters on the red carpet as dwarves.
I'm waiting for that moment. They should be there with the other professional lineup of journalists. The Today Show, CNN, all Yahoo News. They're all going to be down the row, and there will be the OneRing.net in dwarf costumes. Those girls better bring it. That will be so fun. That will be so great.
I'm so excited, and I think it's going to be more fun than ever because they're actually a known quantity. Evangeline Lilly knows them personally.
By now she does.
Dean O'Gorman and
Yes.
the real Keely and Feely are going to be on the red carpet. It's gonna
Aidan Turner's not scheduled, is he? To show up? Is he really?
Yeah, both Feely and Keely are scheduled.
Okay,
now,
that's awesome.
They're only
That's
advertising.
William Kircher too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
Differ.
And they're only advertising the 5 biggest stars, but there's many of the cast is going to be there.
I will pull this up in just a second. I'm going to go over to the official Warner Brothers Hobbit tweet account, and I'll pull that up in just a second. I'll find it.
So officially, Warner Brothers will be live streaming from the red carpet as they did in Wellington last year. You can watch that on YouTube and at the official Hobbit movie website. And
here it is.
You know,
it says here.
That's all officially we can say.
It says red carpet coverage, and first name listed is Peter Jackson.
Okay. Of course.
First name listed PJ, then Martin Freeman, Richard Armitage, Benedict Cumberbatch, Evangeline Lilly, and then who's that? What's the next name? Luke Evans, our Welsh actor who plays Bard the Bowman. Luke Evans, Orlando Bloom, Stephen Fry, and more. And then they leave it with a cryptic and more.
Hello, Hobbit Fan 202. Thanks for your text. Again, 530-64-FRODO or
Thank you for joining the show.
at TheOneRing net, all one word. You know, maybe we should ask the fans what we should ask Benedict Cumberbatch to say on camera for us. Would you just give us one line?
Keely better get her phone out and say, "This is my voicemail. Go." The first thing when she sees Cumberbatch, if I were her, I would say, "Here's my voicemail. Go." Let him record the outgoing. Oh my God! Would that be the coolest thing ever to have? Hey. Our next charity auction on our next fundraiser, maybe that's something we can arrange with Mr. Cumberbatch.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That'd be a great thing for a fan to get. That'd be a lovely thing. Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, if you just
ask him to say grand. We
if you joined us this weekend, Sunday, we had a very special event here. Regal Cinemas has these new Hobbit super tickets where you're the first to get the download code.
I have mine. I have mine here.
To watch the movie a week before everybody else. Plus, you can get the ultraviolet version download of An Unexpected Journey.
This is it.
And they've got some big plans for these Regal super tickets, and you can only get it at Regal Cinema. So we did this big launch event. It's kind of a work in progress because this is one of the first times they've ever done a super ticket, and so we're all the kinks are still being worked out. But we had a great time, didn't we?
We sure did. It was a wonderful and very, very fun time working with the guys at Regal Cinemas who wanted to treat the fans to a special surprise, and
a lot of people showed up in costume. We saw some amazing. Indeed. We saw a Witch King and a Gandalf, and there was Hobbit dancing and archery. I can't believe we had an archery contest to get Gollum. Like, that was pretty cool.
The archery contest with that bloody bow and arrow thing wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work at all. It was really, really, really funny.
So what was going on with the Regal host guys? So, as you may know, we do our show here at Meltdown Comics above the Nerd Melt Theater, the Nerdist Theater here at Meltdown Comics every single week.
Yes,
and
we do.
It is the center, not only is it the center of nerddom, and geekdom, but it's also the center of comedy in Los Angeles. You know how everyone reminisces about what the improv was like in the 70s? When you had Billy Crystal and Robin Williams doing stand-up. Well, that happens here at Meltdown every week. Baron Vaughn is one of the Meltdown regulars. He does the show, the Meltdown Show, which is coming soon to television. It's become so popular here. It's bursting at the seams. They sell out every week. That Comedy Central has said, you know what? Let's make a TV series out of this. So you'll be able to watch the Meltdown Show, which we usually film up above on Comedy Central. That starts first quarter next year.
That is such a big step forward for these guys. That's really exciting.
They totally deserve it. And
I loved working with Baron Vaughn. It was a real delight to get a chance to stand next to a professional, seasoned comedian who's on this great show, Fairly Legal, that had been on the air for 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. And he plays the sassy and funny geek. The geek paralegal who knew a lot of his geek cred was that character he played on the show, and now he's co-hosting with me a laugh riot. That man said some of the funniest stuff off the fly.
And,
really funny.
You know,
great to work with him.
And, it was authentic on camera because, you know, a lot of fans, let's be honest, can you know, smell you know, marketing to very explicitly, but everybody had a good time. I mean, yes. Gandalf himself, who is, you know, a tall old white guy, you know, he's like, that guy had me rapping, and everyone had a great time. We had Nicole, our friend Nicole. She was getting down and like
Nicole in the bearded dwarf costume. But that was great. She looked really funny. It was comedic from the get-go.
It was so much fun.
We did have a great time.
You know, this is a good question here. We just got a text message at 53064 Frodo. How long has the One Ring been around? Your site, channel, etc. You know,
that's a very good question.
We often take for granted that you guys might know us, but you know, if you're just joining us, TheOneRing.net is the largest Lord of the Rings and Tolkien fan site in the world. We've been around since 1999. Mm-hmm. We were one of the first websites to start tracking the movies as they went into production. We've thrown epic Oscar parties that have made you know, fans around the world come. We hosted 14 conventions this year. We were at 14 different conventions giving panel presentations.
Just in 1 year alone. We are one of the most visible and active web portals where we provide news, a centralized source, where all the fans can get all the news from many different arteries that all come to one place. And there's also the live built-in IRC chat, which is lovingly known as Barlaman's Chat. I want to give a shout out to Demosthenes and Megwin and our other hardworking Torrent staffers who work to maintain our ongoing IRC chats, our message boards. You go to the Barlaman's Hall of Fire, and you will be in great company with real Tolkien fans. So since 1999, we're the website that has had a lot of pop coverage about the movies, and we've also had the scholarly side, where we've had an online Tolkien magazine called Green Books, where I myself contributed for 10 years, which resulted in 2 printed volumes, and ultimately we brought about the big fan documentary,
Ringer's Lord of the Fans.
Ringer's Lord of the Fans.
Narrated by Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah, Mr. Dominic was very happy to work with a fan-based TheOneRing.net documentary.
In his first hosting duties, which now he's expanded
so
into hosting his own show called Wild Things. Which
is great. Dom's Wild Things.
This guy has been he's a published author and a Tolkien scholar. He was the voice of Sam in the Fellowship of the Ring video game.
That's right.
And
lucky me.
And so now we just host this free show on YouTube and we work minimum wage jobs to bring it all to you live.
It's just and we bring it all to you.
Everybody's a volunteer
at
TheOneRing.net. Everybody's a volunteer, and we appreciate you guys watching and viewing. So
and thanks for supporting us all these years. Thank you.
You know, it's interesting. I've worked with several actors, and you know, you forget that, you know, people have to keep on being reintroduced. You know, it's like
indeed.
It goes all the way to the top. Let's see. We got a question. Is there a Torn Tuesday because this video has been removed because it's too long?
Why don't I text them back and say come watch us
on Ustream? Check our Facebook page and our Twitter for the link to our Ustream channel. So a lot of people usually find us at TheOneRing.net/live. But here's what I mean is that you have to remind people. So The Hobbit is the prequel trilogy to The Lord of the Rings, the Oscar-winning, multi-billion-dollar, top 10 of all-time grossing franchises ever. The same director, the same writers, the same cast. Ian McKellen, Ian Holm was back. Everything's the same. And they still, if you look at the movie posters of Desolation of Smaug, the second movie, what does it say? From the director of Lord of the Rings.
It always does.
Come on! Don't you think everybody already knows that? But the second movie, The Desolation of Smaug, on the trailer and the billboards, it says, from the director and producers of Lord of the Rings. Doesn't everybody already know that? No. And so that goes all the way to the top. You can't assume that everybody knows who you are and knows what you've done before. And so even at the highest levels, they have to remind you, this new movie is brought to you by the guys that brought you that last movie that you liked. It's great. Look at the top of this thing. From the director of Lord of the Rings
I'll tell you why I know why it's printed like that. It's true. It's very true.
At the top of the poster.
When I talk to my family or certain members of my family in rural areas of Florida, back home where I'm from, Florida, we talk to folks who are not fans, generally speaking, and they don't keep up with so much of this pop culture thing, not the way that it piques my interest. And the first question that is asked is it Peter Jackson? Is he doing it again? They really wouldn't know. There are a lot of non-fans who wouldn't know. Is that the same dude who did Lord of the Rings? It's the first question they would ask if it wasn't printed on there. Yeah. It's the first thing they'd ask. Is it the same dude who did Lord of the Rings trilogy? They would ask that. That's true.
So, we don't do...
Not that my family sounds like that when they talk.
Maybe we don't do that enough on this show, is that there's a reason that, even if you listen to the Nerdist podcast or WTF with Mark Maron, every episode they remind you what this is about, who they are, and why they're doing what they do. So,
station identification is what we call it.
So, let's go into some of the news. We appreciate all the text, but...
We do.
Let's talk about some controversy going on. Now, I personally feel I'm all about controversy.
I know you are.
And I personally feel that this has not been given enough attention, and I'm shocked that this isn't a bigger...
Well, even Entertainment Weekly just last week had Tower Yell with the word controversy on the front cover of the magazine. So you're not the only one who's actually mentioning it.
But so the biggest controversy right now is the DVD release.
That's another big conversation.
Completely botched. The DVD you can't get it at Target. There's 7 different versions. I mean, let's look at some of these different versions. I'm sorry if this is crooked, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So and there's the whole list. If you look at this chart that we put together, there's upwards of 6 different versions of The Hobbit that you can buy on. And what we're hearing from fans is that the version I want, the version I need, is not at the store.
That's what happens.
That's what happens
when you go to Walmart and you try to get a regular DVD. If you're not even advanced to have Blu-ray, if you're still using regular DVD, you'll find a terribly compromised version of the extended edition
with no bonus features.
With no bonus features, you're missing
no commentary,
and you're missing the real reason to even buy it.
And look at that,
without the extras.
Even if you buy the Steelbook, if you think, I'm going to pay extra,
that one at Best Buy,
for the Steelbook, look at our chart. Yes. There's no director's commentary, which a lot of people have said is the best part.
Yes.
The director's commentary is actually really informative about what he's doing.
Very.
So you have 6 different SKUs. You have 6 different products of the same movie, and people are confused. Not only that, the fans are confused. I made that chart because I was confused and I needed clarity, and turns out a lot of other people need clarity. This is crazy that there's 6 different versions, and then there's different versions available at different stores. And what we're finding is that not only that, it's on a lot of Christmas lists and a lot of holiday lists. Mom, I would love a copy of all ages. Kids of all ages are asking, please, if you want to get me a gift, get me The Hobbit extended edition.
That's right.
Now, unknowing grandparents who,
don't even know,
aren't attuned to all the details are kind of like...
You need to share this graph with them. Share it with your grandparents before they... Yeah, what version could they possibly know?
And each of the covers look different.
Yeah, they do. And it's interesting. Look, Target, it says here, is going to have this available December 1st. So
and that's after Black Friday.
Absolutely, it's after the biggest shopping day in retail in the world.
I went to Best Buy. I went to my local Best Buy this week. You know how many copies they had?
At Best Buy?
2. They had
really
2. A Steelbook and a Blu-ray. Not even a 3D, just the regular 2D, or just the regular 2D Blu-ray. That's all they had. I got 1. So our local Best Buy has 1 copy of The Hobbit, and we're coming into Black Friday.
That's the Best Buy in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The biggest entertainment town, media mecca in the world. There we are. And they've got no copies of The Hobbit available. And look, Target won't even let you have it until December 1st. So funny how odd this thing is. Thank you, Mr. Justin, very much. I have to say to him, thank you for taking all the extra hours and losing sleep over one entire night to do an overnight crazy project and make that chart available. You guys have seen it posted on our Facebook timeline. If you haven't, please like us and click like on facebook.com/TheOneRingNet, and you'll see this great chart.
And Ustream and everything, and
everything else.
So we made this chart, but
Without it, consumers would be so easily confused. And now, how many formats of the film or of the new film, Desolation of Smaug, are going to confuse consumers in the same way?
And they claim this is what consumers want. You know, they're like, they want options. No, we don't want options. We want the dang movie with all the features. I don't want to, like, you know, I want to be able to go to any friend and like, hey, did you get the extended edition?
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, what do you think about the commentary? Ooh, it wasn't on mine.
Yeah, that's not
cool.
That's not an icebreaker between geeks. That won't work. No, siree.
And it's not just hardcore geeks that want the extended edition. This is the version that everybody's wearing. Even my mom, who goes to the theater like twice a year, is like, when's that the director version of The Hobbit? So like everyone is aware of this. See, and they say, oh, people want options. No, they don't want options. And I'll tell you, here is proof that they don't want options, and options confuse consumers. Take a look at this. This is DVD and Blu-ray sales charts for the last 2 weeks since The Hobbit came out on DVD and Blu-ray extended edition.
And the extended edition should have, by rights, appeared at the #1 spot with #1 sales, like the early edition of An Unexpected Journey
should have been at the
was
top
at #1. It was the #1 film that bumped out Les Miserables in last year's DVD sales. It was monster
for several weeks.
This extended edition has now appeared. It debuted at #4 on the list on its first week. Now in its second week, it's on 5th because
5th. You know what sold more than the Hobbit extended edition? A snail.
A snail movie.
A snail movie
called Turbo.
A snail is
DreamWorks Animation, am I not mistaken?
I think so.
Starring Ryan Reynolds and Snoop Dogg.
A snail sold faster than a Hobbit movie.
An animated kids snail movie about a racing snail beat out the Hobbit, and that is a shame.
A snail movie. And the Man of Steel is stronger than Gandalf himself? I don't think so. This is like...
However, if you look at some charts, you see that there's an accumulative placement of this product in the marketplace that goes back how many weeks? 37 weeks or 32?
Yeah.
If you count the original time of the debut of the theatrical version of An Unexpected Journey, you will get a total time frame of 32 or 37 weeks, I forget, but that represents a saturation point.
And we know
a saturation point where the marketplace won't hold anymore.
But we know a lot of fans that want the extended edition. They didn't buy the first version; they were waiting for the second one.
Me especially. Yes.
So we couldn't even get it. See, I remember when things were easy like this. Look, this is the original Fellowship of the Ring extended edition. This is what you saw at every store. This is what you saw on Amazon. If you got it on special stores, you got like a statue with it. But the DVD itself
was always the same.
Always the same.
It was universal packaging. It was universally color themed. The Two Towers was brick red as opposed to this lovely pine green from Fellowship.
Yeah, pine green.
And you went to a nice royal Aragorn blue for Return of the King boxed.
But remember when this is easy. I would just want to go to any store.
It was.
Look,
I agree with you. For once, I agree with you. This is
the way we shop is that, look, I want something. I'm going to go to the first store to get it. If they don't have it, I'm going to go to the second store. If they don't have it, I'm going to go to the third store. I'm on the hunt for this. It's worse than the hunt for Gollum. And now it's like, I got to go to Best Buy to get the version I want. Oh, they don't have it.
Something needs to be said for those retailers online who have now made consumers take their appetite online. They don't go from store to store. You, however, which I appreciate, you are faithful to mom and pop stores and local retailers more than you are faithful to online retailers. I appreciate that. But a lot of people are just waiting for the Amazon pre-sale. And guess what? Amazon didn't even have the Hobbit Extended Edition, did they?
Well,
it was delayed. It was delayed even on Amazon.
A lot of people, they did deliver it, but a lot of people did because the quantities were low. But again, if I hadn't gone to all these stores, I wouldn't have been able to take those photos on this chart at the top.
I see. Yes.
And realize, wow, this is the feature list for everything. So I was confused, and I kind of know what I'm doing here. So if I'm confused, I can't even imagine what a 72-year-old grandmother who just wants to make her grandchildren happy for Christmas, how disappointed are her grandchildren going to be when they open their thing and like, this is the wrong version, Granny. I can't watch this. I have to keep it in the package and wait till tomorrow to return it and stand in line for 2 hours and exchange it for the version that I won't be able to get because the quantities are low.
You're right. That's just going to cause a lot of chaos.
It's insane. And look, the quantities are low everywhere. This is a completely messed up, botched DVD release. This should have been #1 for the entire holiday season. And the only reason it isn't #1, a snail beat it, is because I don't know. But when we talk about the content of the DVD, it is amazing. Personally, I think the commentary...
Yes. Now, that needs to be said right away, on the heels of the criticism of the way that it was distributed.
The distribution
That's another
is
thing.
terrible.
But the actual content is so solid gold. Can I say, in all my many years that I have worked for Sir Ian McKellen, when I started working at McKellen.com all that long time ago, and all the time I've known him, and all the work he's done, on stage and off, in front of the camera and beyond, he's never lost his composure, and I've never seen him lose it. The way that working with the Hobbit film actually pushed him to the brink of desperate crying. I've never seen Sir Ian lose himself because he couldn't handle the pressure. And you know him personally. No, I do, and I'm telling you, I'm amazed that these behind-the-scenes stuff are so raw and revealing. They're showing the nerves of what people have to go through to even get this project made. It's an amazing behind-the-scenes journey, 9 hours of material. It's the real reason why we even want this release. It's for this great Michael Pellerin material. It's great stuff.
And, you know, I have to hand it to you. You provided some of the base content. The first thing that you pop in on the first extended edition bonus feature appendices.
This is a little clip.
You're right there.
There's a little clip. I'm interviewing Mr. Guillermo del Toro.
Here at Meltdown.
I like to call him, yes, right here at Meltdown.
It comes full circle.
Literally about 10 feet below my seat. Right down here. We're on the top floor in the attic space. Right below me in the gallery was where I bumped into him, and he was so eager to talk about The Hobbit.
He was so excited. I mean, you could see it.
And this is amazing that Warner Brothers would let loose the behind-the-scenes dirt. The dirty dirt.
We're the only ones that had any of it.
About how they lost the director, how MGM had problems, how they all had problems getting the production mounted and getting the whole show even greenlit in the first place. And most of those scandalous details are kind of pushed away and the studio doesn't want to reveal them. This behind-the-scenes stuff, the appendices on the extended edition reveal all that gold. I love it.
The only controversy that they didn't touch on, which I agree with, is the Feely casting.
Indeed, no mention.
No, they do mention it on the second disc,
but barely.
But you know, they just say, hey, he had to go do another show. Which is more than we got with Aragorn.
True. That's a little bit more. That's Rob Kaczynski. We're talking about Rob Kaczynski, who you see full-featured at Pacific Rim, was replaced by Dean O'Gorman.
Because he chose to do a TV series.
He said, according to the press release, he had personal reasons, quote-unquote, personal reasons for leaving, which means he probably had to deal with a family health issue. I don't know. But then he went right to work with Guillermo del Toro on Pacific Rim.
But if you recall, the same thing happened on Lord of the Rings when Aragorn was originally played by
Stuart Townsend.
Who
went to go work for the Aaliyah spearheaded project Queen of the Damned, the Anne Rice adaptation.
So you know, but did they touch on that in the original Lord of the Rings extended edition?
No.
They didn't touch.
Nope.
And in fact,
not a word.
And
I don't think barely a word.
Going into another timeline, you know, Eric Stoltz is famously replaced on Back to the Future.
Wow, that is now famous. I love that they talk about that.
And they finally talk about it. 20, 30 years later.
Yeah, but I did see Rob Kaczynski much more clearly in the backgrounds. You'll watch the BTS, and you're like, there's Rob. That's definitely... it's not Dean O'Gorman. You can tell.
Yeah, and you can see it in the movie. You can. There's some scenes where you're like, that's not Dean.
Oh, only barely. They tried to darken it. They tried to change the digital, colorizing of the thing. But you can see him, and the camera moves around the mantelpiece. Thorin is beginning to sing. Or I should say Richard Armitage in that remarkable baritone.
So my initial reactions watching all the bonus features and all the extended editions and looking for any secret things by pressing up, down, left, right on all the menu buttons. Well done. Well done. Perfect continuation of the series of appendices. Now, we are when I say that, we are continuing a series that's 10 years old. So it kind of felt like there isn't much new effort involved. I feel like the Peter Jackson's production diaries have just a little more energy and go a little more deep than this documentary from Michael Pellerin. This felt more the same, and they kind of glance over. They take for granted a lot of stuff. But like for instance, they don't ever touch on who made the chainmail. And it's like, well, the guys that made the chainmail in the last movie are not the ones. And so how did they source guys that can make chainmail in New Zealand? You know, there's a lot
they missed that point.
And details of like, you know, how do you design dwarvish clothing, 13 unique dwarvish clothing, and then how do you stitch that?
I have to admit,
all they just showed was a little knitting. They just showed for this stuff.
Really? I haven't finished going through everything in Appendices Part 8, the second disc. So then you finished everything.
Yeah.
And you didn't find what you thought was decent coverage about, you know, those chain link.
The process of creation.
Of course. Is what we want to learn about.
I think there could have been more emphasis on the process of creation.
Yeah.
I think that, and they didn't touch at all about bringing this back to life and the expectations of audiences worldwide and some of the marketing efforts. They didn't touch on the fact that they did 3 premieres, a red carpet, a green carpet, and a black carpet. They didn't touch on any of the marketing efforts of bringing this back to audiences and not getting lost in the superhero macrocosm.
Interesting. Yeah, well, which is getting bigger and bigger every day. The marketplace is living and breathing with Thor and Captain America sequels in the marketplace at the exact same time in the holiday season. And not to mention... I
mean, they did a lot. There was a lot of marketing effort. There was like craft fairs at the Grove and the 3 different premieres in 3 different countries.
Yes.
So there was a lot going on. We got a text message. You guys, great. We just donated to your channel.
Thank you.
Hopefully we get to... the Anglophile channel gets to interview you guys one day. Thank you, Marlies.
That sounds great. We would love
such a great... Again, you can text us 53064 Frodo.
Frodo.
I think that's what was missing. I think there's opportunity, so marketing and then the fine details of craftsmanship. The other issue I had, it's not really an issue, but the way they organized it, like it felt like they did scenery and characters on 2 separate discs. So you had all this talk about the casting of all the elves and the clothing of elves and everything like that, and then you jump to the second disc, and then you had a little bit about the design of the elves, and so there was just a little bit, like, rather than like let's do all the elves, like casting, clothing, set design, set construction, Kate Blanchett.
I see.
Let's go over here. Because
that's interesting. The layout and the formatting of how people digest that kind of content is interesting. But I think the split on the 2 discs was derived more with, the personal and artistic creatives of the actors and musicians on disc 1, with the other technical people being post-production, visual effects, and sound design folks on disc 2. And the greenery and the landscaping people end up there on disc 2 as well. You know what I'm saying? I think they were trying to front end and back end those 2 discs at how we learn and absorb what we want about their work.
I see how they organized it. I would have organized
your idea better.
Look, I would have organized it differently, but it still works. It's not disjointed and convoluted. It still works. But you can definitely see, especially on disc 1 of the Appendices, chapter 7, you can definitely see that this thing was rushed. The title sequences, the motion graphics, like some of them are really good, some of them are really bad, some of them are really basic. There's sometimes really great lower thirds, like telling you who's on screen, and sometimes there's nothing at all.
Right, that's true.
So you can definitely feel that this was rushed, and this supports the rumors that it was a rushed delivery on the Appendices.
That's why Walmart had such a big amount of 2-disc special editions that didn't have the content. They had the film on the regular, I'm talking a regular DVD, not the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So confusing. And that's why. So the 5-disc edition was delayed on Amazon, and that might be why.
And so the rumors, this is all speculation, but the rumors is that the production company, Michael Pellerin, was late on delivery. He knew he was running late. He knew he was behind schedule. Warner Brothers called all the retailers and said, hey, we're making a hard decision, and we're going to piss off some people, but we're giving most of our stock to Walmart and Amazon, anything that's available. We're not going to have enough for every store at launch. That's why Target doesn't have it. And that would explain why it feels rushed. That would explain there's even an extended edition without all the appendices. That would explain Warner Brothers kind of CYA covering their,
I get it.
To say, you know what, let's at least put this in the pipeline. Let's get this to the replication facility, because, it takes a few weeks to just keep cranking out discs. I mean, how fast can your color copier make copies? Imagine making that worldwide, tens of millions.
And there has to be QC. There has to be quality control, so you don't have buggy discs.
I think that's what happened. That they, for safety, they made an extended edition without any bonus features. They produced that first, and they warehoused them.
I get that.
Just to hit their date. And that would explain why the Hobbit fan event was originally pitched as DVD event, get a sneak preview of all the extended edition scenes, turned into this love fest for the desolation of Smaug, and nary a mention, not even a mention, of the release date. And Peter Jackson, nobody at the Hobbit fan event said, hey, be sure to get your copy of our extended edition.
Yes, I remember.
Nobody. It was a glaring omission. So that's what I think. But I think that they wonderfully touched on the controversy at the beginning. It's so great to see you and Guillermo del Toro. I think it does really well fan service. Now, before I started telling you this,
remember, fan service is a good thing, especially on this show.
And so I thought maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. Maybe there's time to over the next 2 movies and their extra bonus features. Maybe there's time to focus on the things, the craftsmanship.
Sure.
But then I realized, no, every location that the dwarves go to here on out is filled with new characters. You've got a whole new race of men of Lake Town. You've got the whole of Erebor. You got a whole thing with bears and Beorn. Mirkwood, a whole new race of elves. So the next 2 movies are chock full of new. So there's no opportunity to revisit Bag End and the 13 dwarves,
the riddles in the dark. That was the only time we will visit that material. Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like they did a good job on Riddles in the Dark, but everything else was kind of.
I loved it. I loved watching the actors go through dwarf training. I loved watching Terry Notary do what he did with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And what he's doing working with Andy Serkis. Love watching Terry Notary, who's an excellent fellow and a great family man. Good guy. He reminds me of Sean Astin quite a bit.
Yes.
He very much reminds me of Sean Astin. The guys have a certain...
we would love to have him on the show.
What would you do for your Sam? What would you do for your Sam is the way Sean Astin embodies that. He's very much a family man. So is Andy Serkis.
Yes,
and his lovely wife, Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine Serkis and the whole family.
Do you think
Terry Notary, I love Terry Notary.
Would come to the premiere?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. He loves coming to premieres. Unlike other lead cast members, who we will not mention right now, there are certain behind-the-scenes crew members who are more than featured as cast, because Terry Notary will get up in makeup and stuff and end up being one of those orcs and one of those goblins.
Yeah.
Just like they all do. And it's going to be really fun to see him in L.A. I hope he's here.
I hope he shows up to the premiere. Now,
indeed.
Speaking of premiere, we've got a lot of information, but take a look at this. This is a picture from last year, the Chinese Theater, TCL Chinese Theater here in Hollywood. That's where the premiere is. It's right next door to the Dolby Theater. There's a little bit of confusion. We're not quite sure if it's going to be inside the Chinese Theater or inside the Dolby Theater. Either one would work. Either one has great audio and Dolby. The Chinese Theater has IMAX, and the Dolby Theater has Dolby Atmos. So there's a bit going on. But
it could be either one is great. And besides, you guys are aware that the Dolby Theater previously was named the Kodak Theater, where the Academy Awards have been held for many, many moons now.
This is a picture of the red carpet from Wellington. That was
amazing.
the first premiere.
Amazing.
Then you had the green carpet in London with the royal premiere, and then you had the black carpet in New York City. So
that's great.
An Unexpected Journey actually got 3 different premieres. And this movie is only getting 1 major premiere, and then they're doing 3 three European stops where a couple actors will be at each. But last year was kind of like, let's get the whole cast to 3 different premieres.
Yeah.
This year, there's only one major premiere, and then there'll be smaller premieres over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, an event, a premiere event, different from a world premiere, which is held here on the biggest stage possible with the most media eyeballs on it possible.
And so this Sunday,
that's how that game is played.
Or this Monday, just announced The Hobbit will be live streaming this premiere officially. Indeed. Man, I wish I had their live streaming budget. I really do.
I hope their upload speed is as good as ours is.
Yeah. So and confirmed is to be at the premiere.
Yes,
Sir Peter Jackson.
That's right.
I bet you he's hand delivering the movie. He loves to be late and wait till the last minute. So
I just want to hear him pronounce it Schmaug, so that when Kelly and Alex are interviewing him, when the Happy Hobbits actually say hi, Peter, I just want to hear him say Schmaug and have Kelly correct him. That's all I know, because I know she will.
So we hear this is Graham McTavish from the Royal premiere last year.
Yes,
he is not going to be here. As with many of the Dwarven actors, they are not going to be in Hollywood.
He plays Dwalin. I thought that William Biffer will be in Los Angeles.
William Kircher will be in Los Angeles. Benedict Cumberbatch here will be at the premiere.
Yes, indeed.
Evangeline Lilly.
That's right.
Will be at the premiere, and she's going to have a blast seeing the Happy Hobbits. Of course, you got Legolas, Orlando Bloom, and Martin Freeman, Luke Evans, Martin Freeman. There you go. Orlando. So you're gonna the premiere is gonna have a lot of people. Richard Armitage, he's confirmed. He'll be there.
That's going to be an interview worth looking forward to.
And of course, this is where I was surprised to see this, because he's a busy man. Stephen Fry, he's currently on Broadway.
Oh,
he's
wow.
flying out.
That's fantastic.
Stephen Fry will be
the Master
here.
of Laketown.
The Master of Laketown.
Do you know, I just bought myself a copy of...
And this guy will be there.
And who's... Oh, well, that's Mr...
Captain Will Turner.
That's Mr. Bard the Bowman. Luke Evans. That's Luke Evans.
That's Will Turner.
That's Zeus from the Immortals. That's Zeus.
That's the guy who plays...
Didn't he play D'Artagnan in the Three Musketeers remake that they did a couple years ago? That is Luke Evans. But I was going to say just a second ago that... what was I going to say? Something about... before you showed the Luke Evans picture.
Stephen Fry?
Mr. Stephen Fry. I just bought my copy of V for Vendetta yesterday. Got it on sale at Amoeba Music right there on Sunset Boulevard. And I'm so thrilled that Stephen Fry has such a great, small, and very fun role there in that movie. I love Stephen Fry. He's great.
Look. This is Captain Will Turner. This is also Luke Evans as Bard the Bowman. From a mile off, they look exactly the same. And I tell you what, you take the blonde wig off Lee Pace and put a little fuzz on his face, you might as well cast all 3 of them in the same role. Come on, Bard the Bowman. I feel like I'm kind of half a mind that Peter Jackson could have done some trickery and had Orlando Bloom play both roles.
Oh gosh, that's too funny.
I mean, how many filmmakers do that just to say they did? Like, oh, so and so is in 2 different roles in the same movie, and trick all tricksy like that. But
I wonder how Luke Evans would have looked in a different haircut, a different hairstyle, perhaps. Than
Glenn Graham, that is Orlando Bloom.
Oh my gosh!
Sylvester McCoy is not scheduled to be here. He's currently in London. He's been doing some stage stuff, and of course, I think he was part of the Doctor Who festivities. Orlando Turner Bowman, yes. So the premiere is going to be quite amazing. It's and one woman. We still don't have confirmation that Fran Walsh or Philippa Boyens will be there, but
I would love to see Philippa.
I hope so. They come. I know.
I do too.
Because the only Evangeline Lilly is going to be the only woman on the carpet.
I actually heard from a certain friend of mine, a little birdie flew in on my window. Mm-hmm. A little birdie rode in my window and said, "Look, I got some inside news for you, Clifford. One of the little original 4 Hobbits is going to surprise the fans and show up at the premiere just next week. You watch yourself. One of the original Hobbits, I won't say who, is going to show up." And then quick as that funny little accent that he had was gone, and he flew away. The bird was gone. But I did take his news to heart, and I realized that one of the 4, if not more, of the Lord of the Rings Hobbits are going to show up and surprise fans at this premiere. And there's a lot of fans coming. We are actually hosting or co-hosting a fun little dinner, which will be on Sunday night, the night before the Monday premiere. So look at your calendars. Look at your calendars on Sunday, December 1st, and you'll see that we have set up an announcement on TheOneRing.net that we're all getting together at Cafe Marmalade, a really nice restaurant there in the heart of the Farmers Market at 3rd and Fairfax, where the world-famous Grove Shopping Center is, where they had a lot of Erebor statues and the throne of the king under the mountain. They had all this great Hobbit decor there a little while ago.
We booked the place. We thought, man, everybody will be great to visit Erebor, and then they told us that they're taking it down.
Ironically, Warner Brothers Marketing took all the Erebor decorations down.
Is it down now?
I know. Isn't that a kick in the pants?
Wait, is it down now?
I don't know. I don't know. Just the fact that it would be removed right before we go to do our
which tells me that they're taking it down to go set up at the
premiere. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. So there you'll see on our Facebook page a little bit about our fan gathering. You can pre-buy your ticket, which includes a pre-fee menu and a drink of your choice and a full dinner, and it also includes tax and gratuity. And it's a little single ticket. You can buy, what is it?
It's
going to be so fun.
It's a wonderful. The Grove is the center of shopping again. You've got the Hollywood Christmas parade happening at the same time Sunday night.
Wow!
So Sunday night, we've put the word out to all the actors saying, if you want to stop by and say hi to the fans, no guarantees that anybody will show up, but the invite is out there publicly.
It is. I think it's kind of funny and maybe a bit strange that the press screenings, the actual journalists and the reporters and writers from all magazines and newspapers and media, they're going to see early press screenings of The Desolation of Smaug, and all those press screenings are happening in the Chinese theater on the night of the Hollywood Christmas parade, when it's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible for any of the journalists or people to get in and out of the theater because that's the location of the bloody parade. It's just so funny. Yeah. It's just such a funny, odd thing. But anyways, I, Clifford Broadway, also known as QuickBeam on TheOneRing.net, am going to be the very first staff of TheOneRing.net who's going to publish the very first film review on TheOneRing.net, followed by many other excellent staff reviewers.
After December 8th.
After the December 8th embargo.
Because we're not allowed to tell you about the movie until the 8th,
After the 8th,
weird.
That's the 8th one. I will be publishing at 12:01 a.m. I will be publishing. I'm going to set WordPress to go at that exact time.
Wait, the 8th, is that a Tuesday?
It is, maybe. Let's take a look at my calendar. Do I even have? Oh, yeah, I do. Thank you, Apple and iOS 7. My calendar is so much easier to access now. Wait a minute. It says December 8th is a Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Okay, 8th.
So we can start talking about the movie.
Saturday night at midnight on the 7th. Going into the 8th is when I will post.
Aidan Turner is going to be at the premiere. Both Feely and Keeley.
That is correct. And
will be at the premiere. So yes, thank you for that text, Betsy.
Thank you for texting us.
So we're really excited, and so there's going to be press junkets and exclusive interviews that the TheOneRing will be able to post talk from the actors talking about what it was like working on Desolation of Smaug and how it's a little different from So we're going to have the full coverage, and then when it comes to premiere night, Monday night.
Oh boy!
Warner Brothers will officially live stream, but I haven't heard any rules that we can't live stream up until 6:30.
That sounds great.
So maybe we can just kind of hang out on the boulevard with you before everything gets closed off and everything.
Can't wait! That'll be fantastic.
Look, you've seen the Erebor thing at the Grove. Those amazing statues and walkthroughs. If they're going to use that for the premiere, that means they're closing down Hollywood Boulevard completely.
They have to for larger premieres, like last week when Disney had their big Frozen premiere.
Yeah,
they brought out snow machines
on Hollywood,
blanketed Hollywood Boulevard in its entirety from the block to the block with fake snow and hills and little trees, and they made this whole thing. They do have to close down traffic for those kinds of big media events.
So that's 2 nights in a row. The Hobbit, the Hollywood Christmas Parade Sunday night, and then they got to clean up all the confetti and fake snow from the Christmas parade, and then they got to
redo it all over again.
Redo it all again for the Hobbit Desolation Spot. And fans will be lined up way early in the morning.
It'll be so good
to be right on the barricades. I mean, we've been to many premieres. I was just there a couple weeks ago for Thor, and they shut down the whole boulevard. It was end to end barricades, and fans were just like trying to shake their hands and take pictures and get autographs. I hope Warner Brothers opens it up to fans. I hope fans are the stars are able to meet the fans, and because sometimes they cordon off the fans over there, and then you walk the red carpet over here, and there's no way for the celebrities to kind of interact. I hope that they open up.
I hope so too.
And every premiere thus far, you saw it. You saw the premieres last year. The fans were able, the celebrities were able to talk, to interact with fans.
Indeed, and I'm excited to be part of the action that's outside on the sidewalk. But to get to the questions that are showing up in our live chat, hello, Tedorus. Hello, and apologies to you, my friend Tedorus. I'm not going to be seeing the premiere. We're not going to be seeing the movie. The premiere, we're just going to be outside the premiere doing coverage on the red carpet and out on the sidewalk, but I won't be going inside. I will go to a press screening days earlier. Actually, on November 30th is when I'm going to see the press screening.
So that's part of the thing.
That is exciting for me, though, to see it 13 days before anybody sees it. I'm very excited.
You saw it first last year, too.
I did, along with David Baxter, our Gandalf.
The reason that they have press screenings early is that so all the reporters from CNN and TheOneRing and the BBC, they can go on the red carpet and they go to the press junkets and ask intelligent questions about
the right questions.
What was this scene like, and what was that scene like? So you can actually go. So all the reporters. So it's really exciting that the Happy Hobbits get to see, are the first in the world to get to see it. You and I will be the first in the world to see it, and then we have to keep our mouth shut, and we can't talk about it for a week.
I can smile and wink, and that's probably the best I can do, because I do not want to get in trouble. Sizzling, hot, scary trouble. Jail time, handcuffs, trouble for breaking in a press embargo. I can't do that.
No, that's what they call it.
Absolutely not.
So we'll be all around, and I think Cliff, you'll be around. I mean, we'll be on the red carpet by sweet candy stores right there, and it overlooks the red carpet going into the Dolby Theater. So
yeah, it does.
Maybe we could do some live streaming
from
the balcony.
If we can get up there, if the security people will let us up there, we're up there.
That'd be fabulous. I like this idea.
And they have a good Mongolian barbecue in the food court.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Speaking of, he's fully dressed for his Mongolian barbecue.
Yes, thanks to you. Fans made this.
I love the Beaufort
hat. This is all B-dubs.
Is it B-dubs? I always thought that the Beaufort hat was like a Mongolian horseman. I always thought it looked like that, and I really do like it, by the way.
Cliff still hasn't received a hat from anybody.
Oh, no, that's quite all right. I've got plenty of hats. I've got plenty of hats. Are there any other hats on the dwarves except for
noticeable hats? Well, I tell you, after watching
hats.
The extended edition appendices, I gotta say, I want a Radagast hat. It's close to Beaufort.
I love the hat. The Radagast hat is the coolest.
Is the coolest. Amazing.
It is the coolest. I love it.
I really want one. I gotta hit up Johnny for one of those.
Yeah.
Designed by Johnny Fraser Allen, who did the book.
Yeah, I love Johnny Fraser Allen.
Yeah, everybody fell in love with him at Comic-Con this year. He did the book with the Squiggerwonkers with Evangeline Lilly. He's such a great guy.
Gaucho says, "Hey Cliff, I will trade you some propane for your press pass." That is like totally a King of the Hill joke if I've ever heard one. I love it.
Greetings from Norway. Hello, Norway.
Excellent. Hello, Norway.
Yeah.
Well, hello there, Norway.
Wait, it's got to be like 2 in the morning in Norway.
That was a Hank Hill joke. I need some propane. I can't even do Hank Hill I used to.
Usually our show goes 5 to 6:30. Our show ends at 6:30. And the next Monday, the live stream of the premiere will start at 6:30. So the time our show ends is when the premiere begins next Monday. So if you're international and you want to kind of get an idea of when the premiere will be live streaming from thehobbit.com, it is at 6:30. It's in a half hour. Basically in 1 half hour
from now.
Yes. For 2 hours.
Because it's 6 o'clock right now. According to our time zone here, Pacific time, it is 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Greetings from Singapore. Wednesday.
Wow.
It's like talking to someone in the future.
Wednesday morning in Singapore. Hello, love. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you? And it's 3 a.m. I love the way Norwegians party hard and stay up all night. Having a great time. 3 a.m. in Norway.
So this is just preparation for people to watch the premiere next week.
I'm excited. And I love Aha, and I miss them. I saw their farewell tour at the Nokia Theater. It was fantastic. I love Norway. I love Norwegian food. I love Norway music. I love their music. Guess what?
What?
When you go to Epcot Center, okay, if you're ever down in Orlando, you go down to Disney World, and you go around the World Pavilion, where they have Morocco and France and Great Britain and Germany. Stop at Norway because they have a ride there with the Norwegian trolls and the pine forest, and it's so cool. It's one of Disney's better dark rides. It's really, really cool. The Norway ride is
Hello
fantastic.
from Scotland. Love Scotland.
But thank you for that
Are they
tangent.
showing DOS in both Dolby and the Chinese theaters? So here's how the premieres usually work, and this was true for Thor. Thor 2. I was just at the Thor 2 premiere. Thor premiered at the El Capitan Disney Theater, and it's a Disney film.
Indeed.
Thor 2.
Yes.
They used the Chinese theater across the street as overflow.
They always do.
And it was packed. There wasn't an empty seat in the Chinese theater. There was not an empty seat. So they actually use the Chinese theater for overflow. Let's say you're an actor in the film, but you had to bring your family, but you want an easy exit in case the kids, get tired, get out of hand, stuff like that. Or if you're like low-level marketing people, or
low-level marketing people, yes.
Or you were a percussionist on the orchestra that did the soundtrack, stuff like that. So the answer is the premiere is most likely going to be in both the Dolby Theater and the Chinese Theater. And there's two different aspects going on. The Chinese Theater is the largest IMAX screen in the world, the largest IMAX 3D screen in the world. Period. End of story. It's the most high-tech IMAX in the world. It's the first IMAX to support HFR 40 frames per second at IMAX resolution. It is unbelievable. And but because the Chinese is such a wonderful grand palace and it has a beautiful chandelier, wonderful decorations, that they couldn't install 64 speaker Dolby Atmos. Dolby Atmos requires a grid of 64 speakers, and they said, we don't want to ruin the aesthetics and the natural acoustics that Sid Grauman built this theater for. So they only installed the best projector of the biggest screen possible. Now, next door, literally not 20 feet away, is the Dolby Theater where they host the Oscars. And it's a stage performance with balconies and everything, and special balconies and everything. So it feels like a stage thing. They have a screen drop down and they put a projector in and they show a movie. But that theater doesn't have Dolby It has Dolby Atmos because Dolby owns the theater now.
It's their namesake.
They installed this thing, and because it's a new theater, it was just built 8 years ago. That there's nothing in the ceiling that's worth looking at. So the Dolby Theater has better audio. The Chinese theater has better visuals. So personally, I'd prefer to see better visuals on my first viewing.
I do agree.
And see hear better audio on my second viewing.
I agree. I do. And I like to go back for a second viewing. I definitely plan on going back for a second viewing of The Hunger Games Catching Fire, which was a superior film like Thor 2. Better than the original. Much better than the original in the case of Catching Fire. Very satisfying film. And I like to go back to support filmmakers because I'm a geek and I want to support a geek filmmaker that I love, like Francis Lawrence, who did I Am Legend and Constantine, two of my favorite genre films. So he did a really great job with Catching Fire. So I want to go back and check out Dolby Atmos the next time I go see it.
It's amazing,
especially in the Riddles in the Dark scene. When I went to the Dolby Atmos theater to see An Unexpected Journey, the Riddles in the Dark scene was so cleverly designed with the sound design. When Gollum went missing, his voice started popping in and out of different corners of the theater all around, and Martin Freeman couldn't see him, and he was telling that creepy riddle. It was so cool. It was a great effect. It was really a great effect.
What was your question? I answered the question, but my video stopped. What was your question? 380355. Speaking of Dolby Atmos and HFR 3D, IMAX did not have HFR 3D last year. It did not. The technology wasn't available for IMAX projectors. So this is the first movie in history that IMAX HFR 3D. HFR, high frame rate, 3D at IMAX size. Now what some theaters did last year is they rolled in a regular HFR projector into an IMAX theater. So they got a little tricky and false. But this time is the first time HFR. We are almost close to publishing. We're getting really close to publishing our updated Hobbit Theater cheat sheet.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
We have got the official list from IMAX.
Yes.
I got it this morning in my email. I got the official list from IMAX themselves of every theater in the world with IMAX high frame rate 3D.
That's excellent.
So the Chinese is at the top of the list.
And Justin is actually going to issue a slight editorial correction from a statement that he made last week about the fact that IMAX and HFR could not be married together. But that was with only present information.
That was only with present information.
Indeed, sir.
And we got updated information.
Yep.
I mean, let's go to detail. Oh, and the list will also have. We just got this morning the official Dolby Atmos theater list. There's over 100 theaters in the world that have 64 speaker Dolby Atmos installed in their theater. So I highly I don't think IMAX and Dolby Atmos is in the same room together in any place, but please. Look for that in the coming days.
Yes, indeed.
IMAX, I mean, they absolutely schooled me on what's going on. So IMAX projectors, you got to figure, IMAX is the largest screen in the world. It requires the most brightness, the most pixels, the hottest bulbs to project it at that size. And it requires more resolution. So you don't see the pixels on screen.
Yes.
If any of you have a home projector, you can, if you walk up to the screen, you can see the squares, the pixel squares when you have a home projector. Now imagine that. You don't want that when people are paying $19 a piece for tickets, which is how much the Chinese theater costs. So IMAX has to project a high amount of frames.
It sure does.
A higher resolution.
Yes.
Now, if you add 3D to that, boy, oh boy, you've just doubled, because the 3D is throwing two different movies at you at the same time, basically.
It's twice the bit rate, twice the data.
And it's twice the data, twice the bit rate.
Yeah.
That's why if you get the Blu-ray edition of An Unexpected Journey, the Blu-ray 3D edition, it comes on 2 discs.
Yes, because
the Steelbook Blu-ray 3D comes on 2 discs.
And so does the regular Blu-ray 3D of the theatrical version of An Unexpected Journey.
Because it's double the frames. So
you fit on 3D.
Basically,
yes.
IMAX projectors, last year they could barely hold the 3D thing because hard drive space, hard drive speed, and 2 movies. Well, IMAX figured out between that last year and this year, and just this week, that how to do HFR 3D. Now, okay, we just talked about 3D. You've got 2 different movies, so you got double the thing. Now, multiply that by double the frames.
That's nuts.
So now the movie that you would normally see in a 2D theater, you just go see regular. Multiply that by 4 and throw it in an IMAX computer projector. and your hard drive is just screaming. And so what they found is,
I can't imagine.
IMAX.
How did they engineer this? I want to talk to some of the engineers who created this technology.
We're hoping to get one of them on the show,
I hope so.
at least
That'd
give you a tour of the IMAX 3D at the Chinese. That would be a wonderful show to have.
Yes, it would.
But
Excellent.
What they found is that it gets so hot. The projector gets so hot because it's pumping out 4 times the data that they normally do.
Wow. Because
it's double the data for 3D and then double that data for HFR. So you've got 4 times the data, and it was overheating. Projectors were overheating inside these air-conditioned... You've been to a projector room.
Yes, I have.
It's frigid.
Yes, it is.
It is frigid because
Absolutely.
they have to keep all the servers and computers and projectors cold. They don't want anything burning out, overheating. So everything was overheating. So what they figured out is how to program the projectors to handle all that data, and they've had to install new cooling systems. That's why there's very few theaters. There's only 30 or so theaters in the world that will have IMAX HFR 3D. It's not only computers and projectors, but it's air conditioning.
It's fantastic.
It's ventilation.
The new infrastructure for the projection room.
It's just a physical room.
Yeah,
so there's a lot to think about when this, and you know, this is the director's vision. Peter Jackson wants you to see it in HFR 3D because that's how he shot it
on
in
the
HFR
biggest
3D.
and best screen. I love IMAX 3D experiences. I love.
Caps are always allowed for Grand. Beaufort's wife, Grand. You can always all caps for Grand. In fact, it's inappropriate not to all caps with Grand.
Okay, Ustreamer 308355. The TCL Chinese Theater claims they are showing the premiere of Desolation of Smaug, but the Dolby theaters say they are. Are both of them showing it? You answered that.
Yes. The short answer is yes, they're both showing it, just like they did with the Thor 2 premiere.
The short answer
is... They showed Thor 2 in both theaters.
And it accommodates more people.
It accommodates... And look how many people are involved with The Hobbit.
But they're in the same building. They're adjacent buildings.
They're in the same building.
Right next to each other, 10 feet away.
And they used to do that with premieres of the Chinese, and they'd send you next door to where the thing is now.
Yes, that's true.
The Galaxy Theater.
When Fellowship of the Ring came out 11 or 12 years ago...
It was at the ArcLight.
The first, believe it or not, the first LA premiere was at the tiny little American Cinematheque at the Egyptian Theater.
Right.
Where was the overflow? The Chinese 6.
Yeah.
Upstairs. The overflow where I went to see it was up there at the Chinese 6.
So,
which is a multiplex right above the classic Chinese.
So I'm kind of torn because I appreciate. I'm one of the guys. I'm a real tech geek, and I appreciate HFR 3D, and I appreciate Dolby Atmos. I really want to see it. But the press screenings that we're fortunate enough to be invited to see it early are just generic, regular
2D.
Yeah.
Some of them are 3D, some of them are 2D generic.
So we don't actually get to see our first viewing won't be in the way the director envisioned, which I don't know how I feel about that. I love seeing things first and freaking out with fans.
I do. And we have to be with a bunch of stuffy, quiet reporters.
That, but
I know.
So the other thing that's happening on opening, so that's premiere night, and we hope we've answered everybody's questions.
And then there's the next night. The next one, Tuesday, is when I am going to be appearing, and if you'd like to, maybe you can show it.
The following day.
The very next day, and I can give you guys the web address. Go to SantaClaritaLibrary.com, because there, up in Santa Clarita, where they have Six Flags Magic Mountain, where they filmed Wally World, right? That's where they filmed Wally World. Go up there to Magic Mountain, where all the roller coasters are, and that is Santa Clarita, up in the Valencia area. And I'm hired as a Tolkien professional to bring a big presentation and a special slideshow about the history of Tolkien and all of his published books, including The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So I'm busy working on Keynote every night, building a slideshow that I hope will be really nice and give everyone a free, totally free, a wonderful discussion and a question and answer session. Last year they asked me to come and screen a copy of Ringer's Lord of the Fans.
Yeah.
And if you click on events, you'll see
events.
There's
Santa Clarita. Is this a free event?
This is a free event, absolutely. And let me open
they're doing a NaNoWriMo all year. I love NaNoWriMo.
It's super cool. And I'm going to click...
National Novel Writing Month is NaNoWriMo.
NaNoWriMo. Oh my gosh, that's really cool. And I'm very happy to be part of the Santa Clarita Public Library programming, and I like being at a community event. It's free. All of you Ringer fans, come and join us, and I'm going to give a big presentation about Tolkien and the interesting difficulties that Professor Tolkien had getting his books published at all. The fact that The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit even exist in print in this form that we know and enjoy is quite a fascinating bit of story. So I'd be glad to see you guys on Tuesday, December 3rd. That means our version of Torn Tuesday will be different.
That means that Torn Tuesday, we're going to have to move the show either to an earlier time or just do it the next day. A question from the chat room: December 2nd is by invitation only. Yes, just like every premiere, only people with invites get to go in the theater and watch the movie, but the Boulevard will be packed with tens of thousands of fans.
You better believe it.
Yes. Come to LA. Make the trek out.
Yes.
Come see your favorite. The weather's been wonderful. It's been 78 and sunny every
day.
So
good. Such good weather.
So
I had a little sprinkle last week, and that cooled things off. It was nice.
Yeah.
But
so come to Hollywood Boulevard. It's going to be shut down.
While the rest of the country on the far east coast is gripped by a nor'easter, a terrifying ice storm that is shutting down Thanksgiving travel plans and affecting 1/3 of all flights across America, we are in balmy, warm, sunny LA. You guys got to come and join us. It's going to be a fantastic party.
Yes.
And there's going to be so many surprises.
And Warner Brothers has always been really good to the fans at the premieres and making the stars accessible. So come out, come early, Monday, December 2nd for the premiere. Now, separately from that, what is it, a week or two later? 2 weeks later is the actual opening night.
Oh my gosh.
December 13th.
That's right.
And Thursday, December 12th is the day you need to look on movietickets.com and Fandango. Thursday, December 12th is when you can buy tickets for the midnight showing. There's a little bit of confusion when you go to book your tickets for December 13th and it says there's no midnight show. You gotta select Thursday, December 12th, and it'll say 12:01. That's the show you want, 12:01. Now, and there's two different things going on. You can go to the double feature, which a lot of theaters are doing. 8 p.m. they're showing An Unexpected Journey, and then at midnight they're showing Desolation of Smaug.
Oh boy!
Only select theaters are doing this, so stay tuned to that. And there's been a lot of debate, even here in LA. A lot of fans want to line up together for a few hours and have a kind of a line party, and they enjoy that experience. But then there's several other fans here, especially here in LA, that have been like, I don't want to do the line party. I actually want to do the double feature. I want to see The Unexpected Journey on the big screen again.
Back to back.
Back to back. Let's do it. So both sides have validity, and
yes, they do.
You know,
so we have two line parties. We have two line parties in the heart of Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
Just a quarter of a mile away from each other. One at the classic Cinerama Dome, the ArcLight Hollywood, where I used to work. And you know what? My favorite moment was introducing Peter Jackson's King Kong on Christmas Day.
I remember that.
845 screaming Peter Jackson fans who were so excited to see King Kong on Christmas morning. Yes. I loved opening the film. It was great, the great day. And then down here, the new world's biggest IMAX screen hosting our other line party during the IMAX Desolation of Smaug.
And a lot of theaters
HFR
across the country, of course, local radio stations do events, when they find out where all the fans are lining up, and the radio station come out. And like last year, they gave away copies of the Legends of the Kingdoms of Middle Earth, the Battle for Middle Earth. Last year, if you came to the Chinese theater for the midnight show, you got a free video game for PS4.
Really?
Yeah, remember that?
That was a great bit of swag.
Yeah, and you got T-shirts and stuff like that. This year is also cool because, of course, we talked about this earlier, the Hobbit Super Ticket. And you can actually buy this at the box office. You can get it online, but you can actually buy this at the box office. You can upgrade your current ticket. If you've already bought tickets to a Regal Cinema, you can upgrade to the Super Ticket, and you get a download code, ultraviolet download code for the
looks just like this. It has the key,
unexpected journey, and then you will get a download code.
That's it.
4 days early.
So you get to scratch this off, and you'll be able to use that download code to get Desolation of Smaug before iTunes has it, before anybody on the online marketplace has it. You'll
be the
4 days
You'll
sooner.
be the first to get the theatrical version of Desolation of Smaug. I think that's in March or April. And super tickets are all entered into drawing to win a trip to New Zealand.
Our friends at Air New Zealand, our friends there at the airline, Air New Zealand, they're giving away a wonderful trip to New Zealand, a real trip to real Middle Earth, and you get entered in that sweepstakes when you buy a super ticket, which is $20 above the regular price you would pay for the theater ticket.
Can't. Yeah, there was a little question last week, but you can upgrade your tickets, and it's worth it. Indeed, it is. I think it's worth it, and especially if you're just going to see it at a regular theater. Maybe you don't have IMAX near you. Maybe you don't have an HFR near you. I highly recommend going. First off, I highly recommend going to see IMAX HFR 3D.
I agree.
If you can't see it in there, see it in IMAX 3D, especially this movie, because a towering dragon at life size, 8 stories tall, on an 8-story tall screen, makes a dragon life size.
But make sure that you're going to a real IMAX screen that is 8 stories tall, instead of one of those licensed IMAX screens that they stick inside the shopping mall, like the bloody ones they have at Century City, where it's licensed as an IMAX screen, but it's really no bigger than the regular ArcLight screen. Trust me. You've got to do your research and find the biggest IMAX screen that's the real deal. Now tell us, my dear fellow, how soon can we see your little chart come online that will show us a guide to these theaters and the theater chains that have the options?
I'm only one guy. Fortunately,
that is true.
Last year, it took me 3 solid days of just hammering it out. I used that as a starting point this year, but there's so many new theaters. There's hundreds of new theaters, and it's a spreadsheet. So it's like copy paste, Wilmington, Delaware, what's the name of the? Does it have all the features? So it's just taking me time. I'm hoping to have that done in the next couple days. So as soon as I can, again, 7 different versions of the film that you can watch in theaters. It's 2D, 3D, HFR 3D, IMAX 3D, IMAX HFR 3D, and Dolby Atmos.
When I have Thanksgiving dinner in 2 days...
And then Super Ticket.
When I have Thanksgiving dinner in 2 days, I'm going to raise my glass, and I'm going to give thanks to Justin, my co-host and my excellent technical producer.
I'm not asking for thanks.
I'm going to say, no, really, a little bit of acknowledgement goes a long way. So let me just say thank you for putting together this wonderful Blu-ray and DVD chart that demystified for us consumers some of the worst really thorny problems in understanding the DVD Blu-ray stuff, and now you're going a step further and giving us a nice guide to the theaters so we can find the right format. Thank you, and also thanks to the theater owners who are cooperating and giving us all the information at theonering.net so that we can do what we do best at theonering.net. Give the fans the best information and the best news
I gotta say,
possible.
The reason I do this is because I'm selfish. I need to know. I want to know. so that's the motive. And
there's the end of your altruism, right there.
But the biggest surprise with the super tickets is that at first glance it's like, oh man, $20. But if you go and get a large popcorn and a large drink, you've spent $20.
You have spent another $20.
So another $20, and you get the first movie, the second movie, and you might win a trip to New Zealand. Is amazing.
Oh wow! No, you get the first movie in standard def, and then you get the Desolation of Smaug in high def downloaded.
But
it's great. It's really
the
pretty
amazing
good deal.
thing is that at the Super Ticket event, which was the very first Super Ticket launch event, fans were just like, I want one. Like they everyone understood. But who showed up at the Super Ticket event is Sauron himself.
Sauron, the Deceiver.
Sala Baker right there with Cliff Broadway and of course our Gandalf and co-host Baron Vaughn.
Baron Vaughn was very funny.
Sauron showed up.
We got Gandalf. Sauron at the very last minute of the day.
And that was pretty crazy. That word got out really quick, and then I believe Sala just kind of texted you and said, "Hey, you're still there? I want to come down." Hopefully, he's on the red carpet.
I hope so too. I really hope that Sala. He's working in town, filming a video, working some interesting projects. He's not always here in town, but when he is here, from time to time, I see him walking his dog down the corner here at Hollywood. Right over outside of Runyon Canyon Park. I do see him around. That's where you see everybody.
He was asking us, he's like, "Hey, should I go to the Hobbit premiere? I mean, I'm not even the movie. Do you think fans would even care?" Yes, they care.
Yes, Sala.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, they do.
Absolutely.
It would be great if Sala shows up. And I do know for sure, and I am confirming now, that at least one of the 4 original Hobbits will also be surprising fans at the premiere. Sala Baker should go there too. He is the Dark Lord.
And Elijah Wood showed up to the premiere last year.
He did. He surprised people then. Yes.
Yeah. So and that was in New Zealand of all places.
So cool.
I wish AMC Theaters had a super ticket. Yeah, we wish. See, all the studios have come up with this concept of a super ticket, which is basically when you go to see the movie in theater, it's an opportunity to sell you the digital download, before. At the time you see it in theater, so
doesn't that help them track interest in the home video marketplace before it even is made available?
Yeah,
it is a way of them to gear interest,
especially if they're going to mess up the Blu-ray extended edition re-release. Like they can pre-sell it to you and not have to worry about DVD replication errors.
Interesting. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm really burned by that. I'm just like Look. We host the show, and we didn't even have it on opening night. I mean, you did. You traveled far and wide to a Walmart.
I did.
On the outskirts of Chinatown.
I went
Chinatown, Jack. You had to go down to Chinatown.
I went. I love going down to Chinatown because it's the best place to eat lunch in L.A. But
oh man, so good.
It is so good. I went even further. I went even further beyond downtown. To where was I? Gosh. Where was I? I went to another part of town that it wasn't Baldwin Hills, but it was right beyond there.
Yeah.
I think it was beyond Baldwin Hills.
So someone called us on the hotline. Give us a call, 530-64-PROTO.
Now is the time.
Or you can Skype us at TheOneRing Net, all one word. Skype, TheOneRing Net, all one word.
Yes, now is the time to join us on our little hotline.
For Neil Brighter Moon called us, and for some reason it didn't ring, and I don't know why it didn't ring.
Oh, please try again.
Yeah.
We would all love for Vigo to show up.
So we reached out to Vigo a little while ago. He's actually just been cast in a major motion picture, and he is abroad for the foreseeable future.
Really?
So Vigo is.
So he won't be there. He has no reason, really, to be there. Unless he surprises us in the 3rd film and his character somehow shows up.
I wouldn't be surprised if
that would happens. Be the kind of the coolest thing ever.
It would be cool.
That would be the coolest thing.
If they got the guy that originally was cast as Aragorn, but they recasted him because they thought he was too young.
Is Stuart Townsend
Remember they said, he's too young.
To be a younger Aragorn? Oh, that would be kind of rich. That would be a kick in the pants.
All right, we got a call on the Torn hotline. Howdy, who's calling?
Hi.
Hey there, how you doing?
This is Heather.
Hi, Heather.
I'm sorry.
How you doing, Heather?
It's I Stole the One Ring from the chat room. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, that's excellent.
I'm excited to hear all the Hobbit stuff that's coming out. And
are you gonna? Are you coming? Are you gonna come to the premiere?
No, but I'm doing something on the 13th.
Where are you going to dress up for the 13th?
No, but I have my Hobbit skirt, but I'm doing a giveaway.
Oh, really?
Very cool.
Yes, and I'm also going to be doing it online. I'll be giving away keychains and some Funko Pop toys.
Oh, nice!
Oh my gosh! That's so amazing. What'd you do for opening night last year?
Nothing. This is gonna be my first. Oh. And Justin, you remember how I said I was shy and I didn't want to do anything? This is gonna be completely out of my comfort zone.
Well,
I'm gonna do it.
Well, that's wonderful.
Oh, that's
really great. That's one of the reasons why we share these experiences.
You're in good hands.
Yeah, you're in good hands with your fellow ringers. Love it. That's great.
You know what? One of the things. Remember when Doug and Ryan and Catalina were on the road trip? They said that Lord of the Rings fans were the kindest, most generous fans that they've ever come across. And so this is perfect. I'm so excited for you.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited. This is it's coming out of my own pocket, and I'm giving back to the fans.
Oh, that's so good.
Very cool. Very cool.
Everybody watching at home now knows to keep a lookout for the specials from I Stole the One Ring.
You keep on.
Yes, I posted it on my Twitter page. So if you follow my Twitter page, I Stole the One Ring, I'll post the link again, and you can go to the event page. It's an event page.
Very nice.
I'll be doing it there, and it's for everybody.
Oh,
everybody can join in.
It's for everybody. Well, thank you so much for announcing. This is like a big announcement. I'm so happy for you.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heather. Well, I say well done, Heather. I Stole the One Ring. That's super cool. We're gonna check it with some of our other Skype callers who are now coming in.
So thanks for calling.
Thank you, dear. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. You're welcome. Very good.
And we got a call from. You know what? Let's just.
There's a whole bunch of Skype calls coming in all at the same time.
Let's see. We got a text message.
By the way, well done,
Heather. Did that come in?
Is there going to be the TheOneRing.net line party goodie from Badali Jewelry this year? Oh,
Badali is going to have a Black Friday weekend special, and we're gonna announce that pretty. We're gonna announce that on Friday.
And yes, so you're going to find the details about the Badali Jewelry Black Friday sale online, right on our main page, TheOneRing.net, and you'll also see that. Oh, it is Neil. It's hello. Are we connecting? Are we connecting with Brighter Moon?
We're connecting.
We're trying to connect with Brighter Moon. Oh, there we go. You're there, sir. Hello. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
We can. Yeah, we're just going to turn the volume up a bit. No camera, so now we can hear your voice rather well.
We're great. Hold on, we're trying to put speaker on.
Okay, cool.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. There it is.
So where are you calling from, Neil?
I am from the UK, and it is nearly 2:30 in the morning here. So
yeah,
it's very late.
What's the temperature?
Cold, too bloody cold. That's what it is.
I love that accent. I love when someone describes the weather across the pond, and there always has to be that adjective. Oh, I love it. I love it. Too bloody cold.
So where are you going to be seeing the film?
I'll be seeing it at my local cinema, but my local cinema doesn't do the IMAX or anything like that, and nothing as fancy or posh as that. It's just got the bog standard normal 3D, and I don't think we've even got the Dolby, really. I don't think so.
That's interesting. I thought that, well, are you, what's the biggest city near you where they would have other options?
Probably Birmingham there would be some. I live in Coventry, which isn't that far away from Birmingham, so there may well be better options within Birmingham, which I'm going to have to...
I think I did see Birmingham in our theater list that I was working on this morning.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, I'd hopefully get to see the full experience. But I mean, one thing that was interesting from earlier, we were talking about the DVDs releases.
Yeah.
In the UK, the DVD is abundant. And one of the interesting things as well is the DVD box art for the UK edition fits in so well with the Lord of the Rings extended.
Yeah, but it's the only the DVD version, right? The Blu-ray still looks new.
It does, yeah. The Blu-ray still looks like it's got the picture on the front, but the DVD has just got like nothing on the front. It's just got the Hobbit and Unexpected Journey in gold, and it fits in like exactly with the Lord of the Rings extended. Oh,
I know. It's that nice light brown tan color, and I was shocked to see that that's not available here in the States. So I guess you guys are kind of special over there. You get the nice looking version.
But we're quite lucky in that sense. I don't understand why we have it and then nobody else does. I don't quite understand that. Really.
What is your region coding where you guys are, Neil?
Region 2.
Okay, I'm going to look that up. I'm looking for an image search right now. Region 2, Blu-ray, Hobbit, and I'm looking to see the extended edition. It's showing the American cover artwork that I have.
No, we're trying to. I've seen it.
Oh, I see it. I see it now. Look, and it's really, really nice. I do see this now. Rated M, the box cover artwork, which looks like the acorn button that Bilbo has on his vest.
Yeah, that's on the back of it. It's really cool. There's a little detail on the back. It's like embossed. The Bilbo symbol on the front. It's in gold. It's really, really cool.
That is nice. That is very nice.
We have been getting a lot of complaints that that fans in the UK were disappointed that they couldn't get the Amazon exclusive that seems to be in every other country.
Yeah, that was frustrating. Cause, I mean, that would be something I'd go for, but we literally cannot get it in the UK. It doesn't. I think you can get it in Germany, but it's nowhere to be found in the UK. It's not on the UK Amazon store at all. I know you can get it in the US as well, for sure.
Yeah, there it is. Now, Justin?
And it's available in France and Netherlands and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing that they've kind of split up this whole release?
I think it's a really bad thing, to be honest. I don't know if it speaks of Warner Brothers' greed in the fact that there's going to be people out there that will want the kind of the completist as such in them.
Yeah.
So they'll try to get all these different versions, and it's going to set them back a lot of quid. And then, well, they should really, they should have done like they did with the Lord of the Rings and just had a standard extended edition that was global, really.
So what do you say to the studio people that say this is what consumers want? They want choice.
Well, I would say there's choice, and then there's an abundance of choice. I think there is very much choice within the last releases. I mean, they could have just done like the last releases, what they looks like, and just had the DVD edition and the Blu-ray edition, and then had the special limited edition that would come with a statue. I think that is enough choice in itself. I think extending it beyond the three choices is just, well, silly. I don't understand it myself, really.
I agree, and I have to say, I would have to get different home theater equipment, and I would have to go to the Netherlands or France to get the actual combo pack that would be best for me, that includes standard definition DVD and the high-def Blu-ray all together. Nowhere in North America and Canada, Region 1, is that set made available, and I wish that they had gone for some more covered universality in the way they released this. I agree with both of you, Justin and Brighter Moon. I really wish it had been done differently, but it is what it is. And now we wonder why The Hobbit debuted in 4th place on the home video charts when it came out.
2 weeks in a row, running a turbo snail movie. So
well, there you go.
So thanks for giving us a call all the way from the UK.
Yeah.
No problem. It's nice to speak to you, though.
Are you going to stay up this late for the Hobbit premiere next week?
Yes, of course. I've got to. Even though it's 2:00 in the morning, I have to.
It'll start next Monday. It starts right now at this time next Monday.
Right, yeah, I'll be there.
It's fantastic. It's always wonderful to have you part of the show, my friend. I love, Neil, I love your avatar on Skype, that very wise wizard face. It's so great, and it's just lovely to have you as part of our growing international audience here on Torn Tuesday. Thank you again, Brighter Moon.
Thank you for all the work you do, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Cheers, man. Take good care, and have a great Thanksgiving, even though you don't celebrate it.
I will. Yes, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's awesome. I love that guy. You guys, we have such a great audience, and we have Stargate Geek, who's not too far away in the UK. We have fans who are
in the chat room today, Philippines and everything.
And Moir V is in Scotland.
It's amazing. So
all over.
We hope we've been giving you all the information for the premiere, the DVDs, the opening night, and next week it's going to be crazy. So we're going to try to live stream on Monday. And we're going to try... Tuesday is a little crazy because of all the stuff. But we want to give you guys the first premiere. Ooh,
let's just let Emily take us out. Emily is going to take us out on this show. Hey, pay attention to the Facebook timeline and the front page of theonering.net, as well as my Twitter feed. Follow me at QuickBeam2000, all right? And you can follow us at TheOneRingNet all the time, at TheOneRingNet on Twitter.
Emily, you get the final.
Emily, you get to say
say
goodbye, but we'll let you know when we reschedule a different timetable for Torn Tuesday next week. It will be earlier in the day than our usual time.
How are you, Emily?
That's it. That was it. No, hey, there. One more time. Keep talking, Emily. Are you there?
I'm really annoyed with... You can't get in the UK.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, there's only the choice of... Well, 2D, 3D, and HFR 3D.
It's a bit tricky, isn't it? We're having a little bit of speakers.
Yeah, the folks at home can't hear you for some reason.
We're sorry to say that the speakerphone is getting a little tricksy right now.
Tricksy and false. That's
yes.
weird. All right, well...
Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Dwina, and thank you, all the streamers out there. Thank you, Eravandi, and thank you, Moir, and thank you, Gwen Grimm, and Emily. Yeah, it looks like that your Skype is trying to detect a mobile handset that you don't have.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is a bit odd.
iPhones are stupid. Well, thanks for joining us. So normally we say join us next Tuesday, but we probably won't be here at the same time, same place. But just stay tuned for The One Ring for all the latest news and information. Have a happy holiday if you're traveling.
Very careful. Very safe journeys, even though they're unexpected. Have very safe journeys.
Speaking of unexpected journeys, I wasn't expecting this.
Expecting what? A ranger caught off his guard?